Hey everybody, PC Outcast here, back with more Everlasting Summer on Yolana's Good Route. Yeah, so we're about to attempt to watch a movie with her at the Cybernetics Lab. What could possibly go wrong with that plan? Let's find out. We went in. It took some time for Yolana to find the light switch. Presto! Well done. Bravo! I exaggeratedly clapped my hands. Hey, stop making fun of me. She pouted. Okay, what's next? Here. Yolana went up to the door to the second room, hesitated for a moment, and pushed it open. There wasn't much space inside. Seems more like this room is used for storage. Boxes piled on top of each other had formed some sort of Alps in miniature. Various devices scattered here and there reminded me of the chaotic brainstorm raging in a head of a scientist. Shelves on the far wall made it clear that this was not a simple storage for unused junk. Was it all well organized? To my right, there was a TV set with a video player sitting next to it. Interestingly, they were not Soviet. I'd bet they were Japanese. At least going by their appearance. Not very surprising in those days, or more accurately for me, these days, imports already existed. What did I tell you? Yolana smiled triumphantly. Yeah. Have you seen anything like that before? I have. Perhaps I've got a VCR too. Probably it's lying somewhere in the mezzanine in my house. Seems like you're not surprised at all. Why should I be surprised? A Japanese TV set? A video player? You look like you often see such things. Not too often lately. I agreed lazily. You're so gloomy. Nevertheless, okay, take it. She handed me the cassette. I turned it over in my hands, but did not find any sticker labels on it. So what's on it? I don't know exactly, mused Yolana. But I'm sure it's something very interesting. Oh yeah, of course, it's gotta be. Soon the logo of a well-known American film company appeared on the screen. Here, watch. Yolana even started fidgeting impatiently. I'm watching. A few minutes later, I realized that the tape contained a famous film from the 80s. It was about a robot from the future, meant to kill someone in the past, so in the years in between, a hero wouldn't be born. Interesting coincidence. You could say I was sent from the future too. So what, my mission is to kill someone from among the local residents? I could not help laughing. What's so funny? Yolana looked at me reproachfully. Oh no, nothing. Seems as if you don't like the movie. The movie's alright. I've seen it several times. How can that be? Her eyes widened in surprise. Well, my friend gave me a cassette. Yolana stared intently at me. Anyway, keep watching. I pointed at the screen. When the film was about halfway through, I heard someone trying to open the front door. It is said that when a person has one of their senses awakened, the others are weakened. The others are amplified. I was quite blind, but could hear perfectly. Lights off, I whispered. What? Turn off the lights. Yolana realized that this wasn't the time to argue with me and rushed to the switch. Meanwhile, I pressed the pause button. I heard footsteps in the other room and saw a flashlight flickering under the door. I wonder who decided to sneak into the Cybernetics Club at night. They're not here. It was the voice of Olga. Then the front door slammed shut and I sighed with relief. See that? Again, it's because of you. What? Yolana stared at me in surprise. Why else would she come here at night? She's definitely searching for us. Alyssa likely doesn't care about your absence, but I'm registered at the camp leader's cabin. She thought for a while. Well, so what? So what? Why are you constantly looking for trouble? It's almost as if you like it. It's more fun this way. Is it fun when you're constantly scolded and punished? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. She laughed merrily. Eventually, there are also rules. Well, up until now, you've evaded serious consequences, but who knows what could happen next? It could all end badly. You grumble like a granny, she said, offended. And who said recently that I could not be called an adult? Forget it, let's finish the movie. I decided not to argue with her. In the end, we were already on Olga's list. An hour later, an hour earlier, does it really matter? At each scary scene, Yolana jumped, screamed, and grabbed me by the hand. I was not so keen on the film, but still pretended that I was also interested. Apart from the evil robot, there was a good man sent from the future to prevent his evil deeds. Maybe I'm not here with the goal of becoming a ruthless killing machine, but on the contrary, to change or prevent something? To prevent some event, for example, or to stop someone from some wrongdoing? The analogy is fairly interesting, but it's not based on any real facts. I don't have a shotgun in my hands. I'm not wearing a leather jacket, and I haven't got a motorcycle to ride. I don't even have sunglasses. Hey, you don't even have eyes. Look! Look! The next chase was shooting, and the destruction of various types of wheeled and propellered vehicles was unfolding on the screen. Do you think the good guy will win? Of course I knew the answer. Obviously. Good always triumphs, she said seriously. If we consider that Yolana often succeeded in her silly ventures, the meaning of the word good gets seriously twisted. Wait, but you already watched it. Yeah, just wanted to know your opinion. Soon the film came to an end. During the final scenes, Yolana ran around the room trying to get a better view of everything happening on the screen without missing anything. Ha! She gasped with relief when the ending credits started. Liked it? You need to ask? Of course! That's good. And I can see you didn't, really. She squinted slyly. Well, it's a film for kids, after all. Really? Well, yeah, so what? Nothing. She yawned and sat on the floor with her back against a pile of boxes. It's probably time to go to sleep. I'm tired and I won't go anywhere. As you wish. I'd better go then. Hey, wait. Yolana immediately jumped up and grabbed me by the hand. Will you leave me here all alone? Well, if you want. Should I carry you to your cabin? I said uncertainly. In the end, I was already experienced at that. No, I want to sleep here. She rummaged in the box next to her and pulled out some sort of blankets and pillows. Again, the same story, I sighed. Just think, Olga's already looking for us if we spend all night here. Well, firstly, she's looking for you. That has nothing to do with me, laughed Yolana. Even if that's so, then you'll be caught too. What makes you say that? And even if I do get caught, that's okay, I'm used to it. Why are you so stubborn? It's only a couple 100 meters to your cabin. As well as that, you couldn't say that Yolana was completely exhausted. I'm so tired. She wrapped herself in a blanket, turned away from me, and began to diligently fake loud snores. Okay then, see you tomorrow. I tried to leave, but Yolana grabbed my hand again. Well, now what? She didn't say anything. She looked as if I'd scared her. Right then, what I should do was completely unclear. A little cassette adventure was idiotic from the beginning, but now it was beyond my comprehension. I had no idea what the logic behind her actions was, what the meaning and motivation was. However, despite all this, I couldn't firmly say no. Something stopped me. Maybe a sense of duty or pity, or the patience which must be shown when communicating with children. Okay, what do you want from me? Go to sleep with me. Seems like I've seen it somewhere already. Well, let's assume... I turned off the light and nestled beside her. Oh. Good thing it was summertime, otherwise sleeping on the wooden floor would not be the best idea. The lack of mattress is not even worth mentioning. Why did you agree so easily? I could hear resentment in her voice. You asked, so I did. In fact, I was completely convinced that Yolana will fall asleep quickly as always, and I can carry her to her cabin. Basically, it's a good plan, despite the fact that I will again serve as a beast of burden. Hey, talk to me. Just sleep. You're the one who wanted to. Just talk. About what? Tell me something interesting about yourself. Funny stories from your life. My life is not that action-packed. Nothing to recall at all. Even if I had something, telling her was not the best idea. Nothing at all. It can't be that bad. I turned to Yolana. She was lying with her eyes wide open, staring at the ceiling. It can, trust me. But that's so boring. From time to time. She was silent for a while and smiled and said, But here you had fun? Oh, that's true. I laughed. Will you remember this camp? First I need to get out of here. Of course I will. And the others? I will. And me? And you. I said it with an absolutely even tone and, to be honest, without really thinking about the meaning of her questions. And I will, whispered Yolana. Immediately I felt her head dropping on my chest and her hand wrapping around my neck. Comfortable? Yeah, she murmured. You haven't found a better place? She shook her head slightly. Well, let her lie like that. In the end, maybe she'll fall asleep faster. Probably no more than 5 minutes passed before I decided to check on her and lightly tugged on her shoulder. What? She asked without looking up. I noticed an unusual note in her voice. Why aren't you sleeping? Look who's talking. Time was passing treacherously slowly. I decided to wait at least another 10 minutes before the next time I checked. But the seconds seemed to be hours. My eyes began to slowly close. I struggled to stay awake. I blinked for a moment and woke up, only to realize that my state was close to unconsciousness. Maybe just close your eyes for a minute? What's so terrible about that? The thought flashed through my head, and immediately I drifted off. Uh-oh. Not good. Not good. Can't possibly end well. There are probably worse things in life than falling asleep while being cuddled by a little girl. And now the door opens and armed men leap toward us. I can't make out what they're screaming, but their intentions are clearly far from good. Nah, I'm not scared at all. Rather, I'm embarrassed or even ashamed. When I opened my eyes, it took me some time to realize where exactly I was. It was dark in here. Only a dim light was gleaming under the door. Why do they make storage rooms without windows? Although obviously that's the way it should be, but why on earth would anyone bring a TV set and a VCR in here then? I cursed the architects of this building in my mind and shook Yolana by her shoulders. Come on, get up now. She stretched, and as we were lying together, I could see her sleepy eyes even in the dark. What? Let me sleep. Yolana tried to turn away, but I firmly grabbed her shoulder with my hand. I don't know what time it is, but regardless, it would be smart for us to get out of here. Not now. Later. She whispered, half asleep. I said, wake up. Come on. I jumped up and easily pulled her to her feet. Ugh, moaned Yolana with frustration in her voice. I started to look for the light switch, but then suddenly heard footsteps outside the door. My heart sank. Why so early? We have a truckload of work to do. No time to waste. You know that we have to do it all before the departure. Alright, fine. Looks like our two amped up cyberneticists are paying a visit to the clubhouse before the break of dawn today. Shh, I whispered to Yolana. And what's the... She didn't manage to finish her sentence as I silenced her with my hand. Well, I understand that, but we might at least have waited until after breakfast. Oh, do you have something else to do? Not really. I heard some hesitation in Electronique's voice. Sure you don't want to head off to the library bright and early again? Hadn't the slightest intention, he replied fretfully. Oh yeah, sure, if you say so. Soon the work kicked off behind the door. I could hear hammer strikes, machines rattling, and electronics buzzing. Electronique and Shurik were discussing their own matters, so I wasn't paying much attention. I was more interested in knowing when they'll finally leave the building. Rather soon, breakfast time is coming. But if we take Shurik's passion into consideration... Let go of me! Yolana finally wrestled her way out, but didn't raise her voice after all. Why can't we just leave? She asked under her breath. And what do you think? It's all fine? Well, what's the problem? Well, we've spent the whole night here together. And it's obvious what they'd assume, considering I'd taken the precaution of closing the door. So? What do you mean, so? I tiredly sighed. Just trust me. I know that it doesn't matter to you, but it does to me. Okay, fine. We'll keep hiding here. Agreed Yolana resentfully. I was prepared to wait for a long time if necessary, but barely a couple of minutes later the front door opened and someone came in. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Morning. It was Slavia. Just wanted to ask if you happen to have any sticky tape. We do, somewhere, replied Shirk thoughtfully. Take a look in the back room. These words gave me goosebumps, and I grabbed the door handle on a stranglehold. Slavia approached the door from the opposite side and tried to pull it open, but I was straining against the door with all my strength. It's locked. It can't be. We never lock that room. Let me try. Shark yanked the door handle, but nothing happened, although it took a lot of effort for me to hold it steady. It's stuck. Give me a hand here. In a few moments, they were trying to open the door together with Electronique. I grasped the handle as if my whole life was depending on it, but regardless, this was a short struggle. My hands quickly gave out, and I let go. Oh boy. The door slammed open, and bright sunlight blinded me, so I couldn't see the startled faces of Shirak, Electronique, and Slavia for the first few seconds. Good morning. Morning. Yolana was standing behind me, so I couldn't see her, but I could feel the embarrassment in her voice. And what are you doing here? Asked Shirak, almost as if he wasn't surprised. Well, to tell you the truth, we were watching a movie. Yolana brought a tape, and you have a VCR here. Shirak distrustfully stared into the depths of the back room. I gave Yolana a nudge in the side until she got the message and displayed the tape. And what's that movie? A barely visible grin crossed Electronique's face. No, don't wink at me, pervert. Just a regular film, a thriller, the latest thriller. Then I imagined what he and others were thinking right now, and I was overwhelmed with rage. If you think nothing like that. Oh boy. It's all her fault. No. Now I'll take the blame. Nobody's accusing you of anything, said Slavia without looking at me. At least there's one sensible person among all present here. Yet, she added under her breath. What? Everything was exactly as he told you. Yolana joined the conversation. We were just watching a film and then felt sleepy. It was late. We didn't think anything. Just a stupid situation. Come on, enough. Electronique tried to put it off with a jest. I think Olga will be the judge here, Slavia said in a cool voice. Hey, wait. Why take this as the camp leader? Who else? But you see, we're telling the truth. I'm not the one to judge. Damn it, then who? You've seen everything with your own eyes. That's for the camp leader to decide. Slavia said quietly and turned to go. Just wait. I appeared before the door in a single bound and blocked her way. Listen, this is none of my business. Slavia is trying to avoid my gaze. It seems like she's also uncomfortable about the situation. I'm just obligated to. Whom are you obligated to? Why do you need to do this? Because I'm a psychopath. She was unable to find the words to finish. So you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to tell anyone anything. No, she said nervously, but then raised her head and gave me an intense gaze. I'm sorry, Semyon. Just leave her, let her go. I turned my head to Yolana. This fraction of a second was enough for Slavia to slip out of the clubhouse. Wait, just wait! I yelled at her as she ran, but had no effect. Pursuing Slavia in a futile attempt to prevent her from going to the camp leader made no sense. If she intends to, I can't exactly tie her up. She can't prove anything anyway. Yolana chuckled. Who cares whether she can prove anything or not? Don't you understand your position in all of this? In any situation you're involved in, your guilt is a foregone conclusion. Moreover, in a case like this... Well, we were responsible together then, she smirked trickily. Exactly. I left the building and sat on the stairs. Well, we will be on your side just in case, right, Shirak? I think so. I don't clearly understand what happened here, but presumably nothing went that worrying. He's so dense. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going for breakfast. Soon we lost sight of them. Let's go and eat as well, Yolana said cheerfully. Food is all you can think about? Why bother crying? What will it change? She was right about that, at least. Well, just have to wait for the camp leader's decision. Let's just go. We headed to the canteen. All the camp had gathered for breakfast except Olga and Slavia. Might be the best, I guess. What are you thinking about? Yolana asked me cheerfully when we took our food and sat. The same thing. Come on, stop worrying about nothing. Maybe it's nothing for you. Well, really, what is particularly bad about that? Every situation can be interpreted from different angles, and especially if you have a reason. Come on, what's the worst that can happen? You know, our camp leader, she's a bit eccentric. Well, maybe so, but we didn't do anything like that. Anything at all. I hope she believes that too. My relationship with Yolana had improved dramatically lately. At first I only saw her as a naughty, ill-mannered child, but now I started to see the good sides of her character. Although there weren't too many. And now, just when everything was starting to work out, a hard conversation with the camp leader loomed ahead. Maybe I just dreamt everything that happened, and Slavia's reaction this morning was just caused by surprise. Enjoying your meal? Olga was hanging over me. She looked at me menacingly. Yes. Would you mind explaining your behavior? Mind explaining what? Well, for example, how you happen to be in the Cybernetics Club utility room. Where did you get the key? What were you even doing there? I recalled the circumstances in which I obtained this cursed key. I should speak to Electronique about that. If Savia told you our version, we were watching a film, Yolana claimed seriously. The whole night? Camp leader asked sarcastically. Then I fell asleep, and Semyon stayed with me. And so there was no chance for you to go to your cabins? Not even a tiny one. And what are you going to say? Well, it sounds really stupid, but she's right. You expect me to believe that? Well, it's the truth. I can't really accuse you of anything. Camp leader started slowly. But on the other hand, this entire situation is beyond normal. Pioneers must not behave this way. And there are too many inconsistencies in your story. We get it. I agreed fatalistically. I will do the following. Yolana, you're on detention. You will be confined to your cabin, and I will decide what to do with you later. I looked at Yolana attentively. Contrary to my expectations, she didn't look upset. Clearly, I do not think this is your fault, but to be fair. Great. You know where to find me in case you need me. She stood up instantly and headed to the exit. Olga didn't try to stop her. There's always too much trouble with her, and she got you into all this. I don't really get what she got me into, and you seem to be too harsh on her. Show me another pioneer like her, the camp leader laughed. When she receives detentions for misbehaving, that's another story, but here? Actually, I don't really understand what was indeed going on, but my duty is to look after your moral character, and this situation is suspicious. Highly suspicious. And how long are you going to keep her imprisoned? I don't know. Olga pondered for some time. Today is the departure, but in these circumstances... What? What departure? I jumped at the word. The term's ending today. This is the last day. What? It was the only response I could squeeze out. The last day, meaning I'll finally be able to leave this damn camp? Maybe it's time for my suffering to end and I'll get back to my ordinary reality. But why so suddenly? Sudden for who? I talked about it in the lineup. She has a point. The lineups I was usually sleeping or looking around and didn't really listen to the announcements. And at what time? At about 5 o'clock. Don't forget to get ready. I hardly have anything to pack. She stood up, took a tray, and was going to leave. So what's going to happen to Yolana? I don't know yet. I told you. She'll probably leave later. How's that? Not with everyone? Well, yes. Is that normal? I was truly surprised. What's wrong with it? I don't know about wrong, but it's quite strange for sure. Well, I still have work to do. Yeah, that is weird. Really weird. It's actually it's the same kind of thing that happened with Lena. Like everybody left and it was just the two of us. I dug aimlessly at my porridge, which had gone cold long ago. Departure. The possibility of getting out of here. But on the other hand, Yolana. I myself felt guilty before her. In the end, she was penalized while I, at the same time, wasn't. That's not fair. No, it's not like I wanted to share her misery, but I don't think that it's fair that she sits here locked up. Well, there's still some time before leaving. It should be quite enough to make the situation clear. First, I decided to talk with Slavia. I hope she's calmed down. I'd gotten used to finding Slavia at the square, so I went there without any doubts. Why exactly there? Because in this camp, I predominantly meet her there. But there wasn't a single soul near Genda. I should say Genda. Genda's Haven. I stood there for a while, looking at the monument, then headed to the library. Makes sense that Xenia could know where her neighbor is right now. After knocking at the door, recalling my previous experience, this was not a useless mannerism, I went in. Xenia distracted herself from her book and looked closely at me. What do you want? What's wrong? Why do you react like that? I can't even come in? What, you came here for no reason? I doubt you wanted to read something. Well, no. The classics of Marxist-Leninism weren't my favorite literature. I wanted to know where Slavia is. Why do you want to know? She said that as if she was sure that the conversation is over, and thus she proceeded with her reading. Well, since I'm asking, clearly I need to know. Should be on the pier, Xenia answered indifferently. Thanks. Learning what I wanted to know, I hurried out of the stronghold of malice. Yes, Xenia was a tough spirit. At least, I have issues understanding her. On the pier, some pioneers were pulling boats into docks, while others were running around with oars or ropes. After looking closely, I noticed Slavia, who sat quite far away near the water. Cleaning up? I asked the most neutral question that came to my mind. Yep, she answered without turning. Listen, I want to talk about Yelana? Well, yeah. Honestly speaking, I had no idea what to talk about. Slavia found us in the storage room, got it wrong, told everything to the camp leader. Now, it's not her concern anymore if you think about it. On the other hand, it would be a waste of time to talk to Olga now. Maybe I just subconsciously wanted to understand Slavia's reasoning, to be able to absolve her somehow. So, what did you want to say? Well, Yelana got punished. Maybe she won't even leave with us. No wonder. I just wanted to explain to you that nothing special happened there. Frankly speaking, I don't know. I just had to report everything. So you did. Did it leave anyone better off? I mumbled to myself. Of course, I'm not sure that it was right, she said confusedly. Well, what's done is done. Do you think it's possible to get Yelana freed from house arrest? You're worrying about her so much. Slavia finally looked at me and smiled. Not about her, about justice. Well, I was a bit confused. I found the right answer. Well, you know our camp leader. I do, that's for sure. Just wait. She'll calm down eventually. Yes, I guess that was the best decision. Yes, you're right. I stood near her in silence for some time. Slavia didn't seem eager to keep on talking. Still, there was some sense of incompleteness. But faced with the idea of this uncomfortable situation lasting for several hours, I decided not to be a burden. Okay, I'll go then. See ya, she smiled. In the middle of the square, I stopped to think. There's still a lot of time till the departure, and I have nothing to do. Just yesterday, when it seemed like I was stuck here forever and had lots of time, even though there was actually very little, I felt the need to drink. Yeah, to have a drink. And to think and to act faster. But now that I've gotten only 5 hours left till I leave this camp forever, I have not a slightest idea how to spend them. I decided to visit Yelana. After all, even if she isn't allowed to leave her cabin, that doesn't mean I cannot pay her a visit. I knocked gently. You're not welcome here. An angry voice sounded from behind the door. I pulled on the handle and entered. Hail, prisoner. Oh, it's you. Yelana said disappointedly. And what, am I the only one who isn't welcome here? I tried to smile. Why did you come? Well, I thought you'd be bored here all alone. I'm fine. Where's Alyssa? As you can see, not here. Come on, why are you so angry? In the morning you were in a much better mood. Angry? Me? Not me, that's for sure. You have nothing else to do, so you came here, right? Yeah, my bad. I sighed theatrically and hung my head. Well, sit down then. I sat on the opposite bed. So tell me something. Let's come up with a way to prove to Olga that we did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. Ilana corrected me. You seem to have nothing to do with it. Okay, let it be. But why? A tricky question. It feels like we've swapped our roles. I was suggesting a stupid plan while she was the voice of reason. Well, because we did nothing wrong. What's the matter with you anyway? I just stay grounded for a couple hours and that's it. We have to depart soon anyway. She flopped down on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Well, sure, but... I tried hard to cheer her up, but it looks like I haven't succeeded so far. Want to do something, maybe? It's lunchtime already. I took a glance at my watch. Yeah, right. Here's a job for you. Since I mustn't go out, go and bring me something to eat. Sir, yes, sir. I saluted her and hurried out of the cabin. Recently, I started to think that finally something has clicked in Ilana's mind. Maybe the punishment had an effect on her. Or possibly it was something else. And my attitude towards her has changed. Her wrongdoings used to make me feel nothing but irritation, but now there's also understanding and a sort of sympathy. After all, I used to be a child too. Perhaps if one explained to her what's right and what is not, she might be able to avoid many mistakes. In the canteen, I had an argument with a cook who refused to give me a double serving. However, everyone in the camp already knew about Ilana being grounded, so eventually my powers of persuasion won out over dietary standards. Soon I was sitting at Ilana's cabin and tucking away meatballs with potatoes. Just like a last meal. What are you talking about? Well, every death row prisoner has a right to make a last wish. Thus, my last wish is a lunch like this. To my surprise, the food was really delicious. What would your wish be? Well, to not be executed, of course. She laughed. You can't. Why? If you can wish for anything. Well, you can, but within certain limits. That means it's not anything. Well, okay then, it's not anything. Then that's not interesting. Well, I believe being a death row prisoner is hardly meant to be interesting in the first place. I grinned through my teeth. I wouldn't know. I never went through that experience. But if you think about it, that's almost my situation. This camp is my cell. For several more hours, I'll stay under arrest, and then I'll face uncertainty, just like I would after death. The only difference is that I had more options. If I wanted to attend lineup, then I'd do so. If not, then I didn't. What are you going to do next? What do you mean? Well, I'm after the camp. She looked at me in surprise. Back to school, of course. Yes, only for me leaving this place is kind of like crossing a barrier, a frontier, the end of something, the beginning of something else. A week ago, it was terribly hard for me to realize that I'd been pulled out of my usual world and brought to God knows where. But then I got used to it, and here we go again. Basically, the only difference is that now I face not a sense of fear and horror, but a blunt, sinking feeling of uncertainty. And you? Well, I'll find something to do. Something. She burst into peals of laughter. Yeah, what's the matter? You should have gone to a circus school to be a clown. Why? One can't help laughing when looking at you. But why? You always act like some kind of a martyr, a new messiah for all the Russians. Well, there was quite a bit of truth in her words. I have my reasons, I mumbled and turned to face the window. What reasons? Let's find out in the next episode, because this one's going long enough as it is. Thanks for joining me. See you then.